Good morning, good afternoon. I'm not sure what time of the day you got to our site, but now you're here. You scan the QR code, or they're putting a presentation on the TV, and I'm in front of you. So, welcome to site. My name's Trevor. I'm from Sante. I'll be giving your site-specific orientation today for the Huber Solar Farm. This address is 2010 West Lincoln Highway, DeKalb, Illinois 60115. Feel free to take out your phone or screenshot any parts of this orientation that you're going to need to continue throughout your days. So we really appreciate all the collaboration that's going to happen between you and our team and the PureSky team throughout this project. So thank you very much and look forward to seeing you at the rest of the presentation. Just a little more about our Huber solar site here. Generating capacity is 6.34 megawatts DC, 4.98 megawatts AC. And the tracker system that we're going to be installing on this project is polar racking. Project start date was in 2026 in the spring, and we plan to do FC and FC here in the fall or in the spring of 2027. Project owner out here is PureSky, and the different scopes of work that will be going on simultaneously will be fence installation, civil, which will be grading, road installation or silt fence install, and then also electrical near the middle to end of our project, and then also, the mechanical install and solar panel install out here. Eventually we get to demob, and we'll be putting in grass kind of at the end and making sure, tightening up everything for the last few months of the project. So here's just a list of your project management team here. The Vice President of Construction is Bill Clifton. Pre-construction manager is going to be Sterling Holt, Carl and Mike Drunkenmiller. There'll also be some other pre-con guys that'll be coming out to our PureSky projects periodically. You'll see them walking around. Site manager, your main point of contact here on the site is going to be Melvin Smith. Project manager is Kayla Johnson, another main contact there for you. Her number is actually posted on that side entrance sign out front. You can get any other contact information from Melvin himself. Finance, Royden Markham. Procurement and logistics manager, Joe Wilson. Safety manager, myself. And then quality manager, to be determined at this moment. So a little more about Sante, our values: safety awareness, nurturing a culture of vigilance and prevention, accountability, taking personal and collective responsibility for safe practices here on our work site. We want everyone to come in and lead the same way. With all 10 fingers and toes, right? So education. So we try to teach everybody, and everyone should learn a little something on every project. Engaging in continuous learning to improve knowledge and application of health and safety well-being. Together, these elements form a comprehensive approach to health and safety, encapsulating key behaviors and principles that support a robust HSW culture within Sante. Our media protocol out here on site is, if it's not for quality or not for work, please don't be taking photos. We don't want to see people putting stuff on their Facebook from our site, and we also don't want to see people taking Snapchats or Snapchat videos of them driving around in the buggies. You shouldn't be on your phone while you're driving the buggy in the first place, but you definitely shouldn't be taking a video and throwing it up on Snapchat. See, on Snapchat and Facebook, especially Snapchat, they have these little geolocating grid, right? So if I zoom in on our site, and you have a public profile and you post something on your public profile, I can see exactly who posted it and what they posted. PureSky will also do this. A lot of clients will look just to make sure that nothing crazy is going on at their site. So the boundaries of our site where we cannot operate outside of are marked by LOD stakes. Typically they're in pink or orange flags connected to them. They do have LOD written on the side. They will be outside of the silt fence. So please do not operate any equipment outside of those staked off areas. Also, please leave all the stakes alone on site. If you do knock one over or accidentally hit one, please let us know so that we can get something replaced. Sometimes it could be GoAb poles or some type of electrical poles that we have to install in that spot, and it becomes very important at the end of our project. It also costs us a significant amount of money to have survey come back out to the site. So just please let us know throughout the process if any of those are moved or damaged. Same thing with the pins. That's where we used to put our piles or mark out our electrical equipment. We want to make sure none of those are hit, moved, pulled out of the ground, moved left or right, so that we don't place things in the wrong area. We do have to do as-built at the end of the project, and if something is not in the right spot because someone pulled a stake or a marker up and moved it without our knowledge, then we'd have to come back and rebuild that, and it would cost us a lot of money. So we appreciate your cooperation there. If you do damage the silt fence or have to hit the silt fence or go through the silt fence for any part of the project, we do ask that you please fix it and or at least let Melvin know or somebody on site know, so that way we can go ahead and stay within our SWIP compliance and get it fixed. We'll be now moving into site-specific safety and health. This is just a little graph here that shows you why safety is so important. In 2019, there was 1,061 fatalities in the construction industry alone. So, a lot of us haven't really experienced that on our day-to-day construction sites, but it does happen and it can happen, and we want to prevent that from happening on any Sante site ever. So just make sure we pay attention to this part and, be your brother's keeper. Here's another graph here. So it's just showing you the main injuries that happen on different construction sites inside of the United States. This is all in one annual year. So the largest one was sprains, strains, and tears, 20,640. The second largest one is going to be your soreness and pain. Then you're going to have fractures, and then you're going to have cuts, and then you're going to have bruises and contusions there as the smallest one. So general site safety rules here: no riding in the back of pickup trucks and or any piece of equipment on site. Do not text and drive in any vehicle or equipment. If you need to make that phone call, pull over to the side, shut off the engine, and make whatever call you need to make, or text whatever you need to text. Wear seatbelts at all times. Keep doors closed while operating machines. You must have a licensed operator or some type of training to be able to operate the equipment out here. If you're a laborer, don't just go hop in the skid steer and start moving things around. Back in while parking. So here you have the hierarchy of controls. The first step to take away any hazard is going to be eliminated, so just take it off site. This may be a piece of rebar sticking out of the ground that we've ignored for a couple of days. When you just pull that out of the ground and make sure nobody runs into it or pops a tire, accidentally hits their arm on it, something, right? So the next step would be substitution. So if we have really tall ladders out on our site that it's really hard to tie off on, we would just take out that ladder and get a man lift. That would be a lot easier and even make your process simpler throughout the build process. Next step would be engineering controls. Administrative controls would be the second to last step, and then your last line of defense is going to be your PPE. Job hazard analysis. Each crew is responsible for filling out their own JHA every morning. And then on the back page, they're responsible for signing that they have not gotten hurt and initialing out. It's very important that we have this. This is a legal document. Every single person on our site should sign one of these every single day. Doesn't matter if you're the project manager, the construction manager, the safety manager, the vice president of construction, the president of construction. If you're going out into the field to watch operations, you need to be signing on to one of these. Here at Sante, we have seamless safety, so we have a lot of different QR codes that we use for our inspections, we use for our trainings. Feel free to scan the QR codes around site. If it's a equipment inspection, then you'll have to do that daily. If it's a vehicle inspection, you'll have to do that every month. So go ahead and hit that QR code, fill out the little form, and that'll be your inspection for the day. So near miss forms and QR codes will be posted throughout the site. Go ahead and scan that QR code if you see a hazard in the field or if you see some type of near miss incident. You'll never be punished for filling these out, and they are confidential. We don't ask you for your name, so it just helps us go around the site and fix the hazards that are out there. Please fill these out. Everybody on site has stop work authority, so if you see something unsafe, please say something. Don't just stand in the background. Speak up, stop the work, address the hazard, and then move on. Standard PPE for this site is going to be hard hat, vest, gloves, glasses, ear pro, and steel-toed boots. Ear pro is not needed if you're not around loud equipment. All of our company policies here would be found inside of our injury and illness prevention plan, our employee handbook, which will be on site, and then also inside of our site-specific health and safety plan. So if you have any questions about the policies for Sante, feel free to ask and we can bring you those booklets or show it to you on Procore. See here for emergency response, and it's typical for all Sante projects. Our muster points are meeting out by the road. So for all major emergencies, flee to safety through the egress points, call 911, call your safety, and then inform leadership. Here's a map to the medical facility, the closest one, which would be Northwestern Medical Kawashi Hospital. If you guys do have some type of cut or some minor first aid, please bring them up to the safety trailer. We'll handle it in-house. Please always contact the site safety manager, which would be myself. Phone number is posted on the board out front, the side entrance sign. Please contact me if you guys do have any incidents. We'll try to handle them in-house. If it is something major, then obviously we will take them to the hospital. We do have fire extinguishers posted around our site. Should have one in every piece of equipment. If you don't have one in the piece of equipment, please notify Melvin or myself, and we'll get with the rental company to make sure you get one brought out there. Different types of fire extinguishers are class A, B, and C. Most fire extinguishers are all three combined that we have here on site, so they should put out any fire that we have. Stretch and flex every morning will start at 7 a.m. Sometimes you'll do it inside of your own crews. Sometimes you'll do it with me if I'm on site. But just make sure that we're doing it on a daily basis. Different forms of communication we have out here on site is going to be our Teams chat, our emails, our phones, our pond, which will start at 3 p.m. typically on most sites. And then my number, again, for the last slide is posted down here at the bottom. We do have a strict no alcohol policy here at Sante. So no dab pens, no alcohol. A lot of solar sites, you'll go around in the Porta Johns and you'll see little things of Fireball for alcoholics. If we do catch you drinking or smoking on our site, we will immediately remove you. No questions asked. So for our site vehicles and equipment, the use of spotters is mandatory while offloading equipment, backing up, and when pulling through tight spaces. Mental health, this is a very big one here for Sante. If you have any type of mental health issues or you know anyone who does that you're working with, we do have an open door policy. Please come up to the Sante safety office and we can try to get you the help you need, point you in the right direction. We always want to talk to you. We don't want you to go out or go home and make bad choices. So we're here to talk. We're here to listen. We do care about your feelings, and we want to make sure that we create a vigilant culture that will prevent any type of mental illness on our sites. Also, there is a mental health Illinois hotline here. It is 988. If you don't feel comfortable talking to one of us, you could call that hotline and get some help that way. Here's some site vehicle and equipment rules. Speed limits are 10 mile an hour on the site roads. Neighborhood roads are 25 mile an hour. And then up by the trailer and compound or any of the equipment or tight spaces should be 5 mile an hour. All vehicles and equipment must be equipped with a first aid kit and a fire extinguisher, which we previously spoke about. All heavy equipment shall have daily documented pre-occupational inspections or before each shift. And then only metal safety fuel cans are allowed for use on our site. So stay clear of vehicles being offloaded. Semi trucks are going to pull into our laydown yard. Stay off that back side of the flatbeds. Any operator on site must be trained or qualified to operate the equipment that they're in. Speed limits must also be obeyed inside the equipment. 3 points of contact will be used entering and exiting the equipment. Doors and latches will be closed when moving. No operator should be on the phone while operating equipment. And earpieces shall not be worn so that you can be aware of your surroundings and hear others. So any acts of serious or willful misconduct on our site, you'll be immediately removed from our site. We do withhold the responsibility and the ability to just kick you off of our site if you steal anything, if we catch you smoking or drinking, if you intentionally damage something, or if you cause a near miss incident that could have almost ended someone's life, like cutting a lock. So in the construction industry, anytime you're working over 6 foot in the air or 6 foot above a trench, if the trench is 6 foot, then you would need to be tied off, and or you would need to have a harness on. Well, both of these actually. So we do have certain permits, and we do want to know if you're doing any of this type of work. Shouldn't be a whole lot of that work going on out on our site, but please notify us if you do plan on working over 6 foot. So trenching and excavation, we do actually have a dig permit, and then we need to verify that you have the proper 811 ticket pulled to make sure that if you do hit any utility lines, you are covered in the law of Illinois. Again, anything over 6 foot, actually 4 foot in this instance, there should be proper benching and sloping. A trench inspection would have to be done every day to classify your soil, whether it's A, B, or C type soils. So this is one of those hazardous work tasks that will be going on our site. and we'll need to monitor it at a different level. So let us know if you're doing any trenching or excavation. So out here, electrical work, only a qualified person may perform electrical work. Certain electrical work out here will require a permit, and then all electrical power tools must be double insulated, and then you have to have GFCI rated cords, and then they need to be kept out of water, kept out of the mud, and kept clean. For the commissioning crews that'll be coming out here at the end, typically we'll have some type of red rope or lockout, tag out training. You'll need to have the proper PPE on. You'll need to have calibrated meters for testing. You'll need NOE, notice of energization. So anytime there's commissioning going on or any type of VLF testing or any larger current testing, we'll notify everybody in the field, and then also we want to make sure that all that stuff is contained with locks and lockout tagout processes. Sprain, strain, and risk prevention. 2-person lift, anything over 50 pounds. So if it's 49.5 pounds, go ahead, lift it yourself. If it's over 50, 51, we do ask that you have somebody else lift it with you. Bend at the knees, not at the back, and lift with your legs. So minimizing the risk of the sprain and strain. Remember that graph from way earlier? This is the largest area that people get injuries out in the field, especially when it's cold and you're lifting this type of stuff. So do the stretch and flex in the morning, eat healthy, work out on a regular basis, and then use mechanical means to lift heavier objects if possible. Almost there. Environmental is our last section here, and then we'll be done. Any chemicals that come onto our site, we need to make sure that we know about it or are notified, so that way we can include the chemicals inside of our SDS binder. It is an OSHA regulation that, we fill those out, and that way if you ever get anything on your skin and you don't know what it was, or if you get something in your eye or you ingest it, we can go to this SDS binder, we can look it up, we can find different ways to counteract it, or if we need to call pollution control, and then give you the possible symptoms that may be caused by different types of ingestation. So please let us know if you bring any chemicals on site. The chemicals that do come on a site will have to have placards or GHS labels placed onto them, so that way you know what type of hazard can occur from different things being around them. And then there's certain chemicals that cannot be placed next to each other. So if something reacts with water and can cause an explosion, we're not going to put it next to a pout of water. Or we're not going to smoke next to these chemicals if they're combustible. So just make sure you notify us. I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to just go ahead and read through this slide on your own. The lightning alert, the break time, right? Hey, so anything inside 10 miles, any type of lightning that comes onto our site, we'll do a 30-minute stand down mandatory, and then every strike that happens after that or inside of that 30 minutes. So if we're at minute 15, another lightning strike, it's 30 minutes from the last lightning strike. So for wildlife, avoid all wildlife if at all possible. Kick before you pick things to make sure there's not some type of rodent, snake underneath. Report wildlife if seen, and then do not hunt the wildlife. Do not kill any rabbits and try to take them home and eat them. If you do get bit by a bug or you start having allergic reactions from some type of insect out there, please let us know, and we'll try to get you some type of cream or ointment to put on it. This is probably one of the most important slides on this entire slide deck. Waste and trash. Do not throw your water bottles on the ground. Do not throw cigarette butts on the ground. Do not leave your trash bags open for animals and critters to get into. Do not leave trash inside of your equipment. At the end of each day, you should take 10 to 15 minutes to clean up your individual working area. We want to keep our site clean at all times. We are in a green energy company. That is what solar is. So we don't want to dirty the land with trash and debris. It does not look good for our clients. It does not look organized, and it doesn't look good to our workers that come onto the site every day. So pick up your stuff, throw it away in our dumpsters or bins around site. Please and thank you. Any spills, chemical or fuel spills, I need to know about. They need to be properly picked up in the proper manner, and then if it's over a certain amount, I have to report it to the client, and then if it's a large amount, I'd have to report it to Illinois. So please let us know. We don't want any large amount of fuel or oil going downstream, killing a bunch of fish, and then we lose our SWIP permit and we have to shut down the site. which means that we don't get paid and you don't get paid. So please let us know if you see any spills out there. If you're already on this QR code, you can back out. If you're not on this QR code and this being showed to you on a TV, you can go ahead and scan this. You'll skip over the video section. You'll go down to the bottom. You fill in your date, your name, but this will be our submission form, right? So make sure that you fill this out because this is how I know that you completed this on this project. Please and thank you. Look forward to seeing you around and seeing you out on site. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day.